Hello friends, this is Professor Himanshu Deshmukh. So today we will see the basics of friction. Let us begin with the definition. The definition for friction says that friction, the resistance offered by the surface to the motion of body when it tries to slide or tend to slide is known as friction. So we all are familiar with the term friction. We observe friction in our everyday day-to-day life. So when we are sliding over something and the resistance that is offered by that particular surface to us is known as friction. To look it with the help of an example, we'll consider a small block. So suppose this is a block which is kept on a surface. Now this is a rough surface. Suppose it is a rough surface. Now if this block is pulled in this direction with the force P, capital P, it is being pulled by the force P. Now what will happen if we pull this block, or it is the body of that block, in this direction with the force P, the block will slide on this surface and the motion of this block will be in the same direction of the force. So in this case, this particular block is pulled in right side with the force P. So the motion of this block will be also in the right side. Now always remember friends that we are here learning friction. So when a block is being moved in a certain direction, there is one force which is known as frictional force. And this frictional force will act always in the direction opposite to the direction of motion. So in this case, the motion is towards right. So the frictional force will act between the block surface and this surface. So at this area, the frictional force will act at this area, and it will always act in the direction opposite to the direction of motion. So in this case, motion is towards right. So the frictional force will be towards left. Motion is towards right, friction is towards left. Now always remember that there are two more forces which are going to act on this particular block. Now since at the initial stage this block is at rest, before applying force P, this block is at rest, so the weight of the block is going to be acting, and we all know that this weight always acts in downward direction. So there will be one force in downward direction, that is the weight of this particular block. Now since this block is kept on the surface, and since this block is giving a force W on this surface, there is a reaction force which this surface will be giving on the block. And the reaction force will be exactly opposite to the direction of weight. And this reaction force is known as normal reaction. So it will be perpendicular to the surface, in the upward direction. So this is normal reaction. So it is represented by R. So this is the normal reaction force which will act in the upward direction. The weight will act in downward direction, and the opposite to weight will be the normal reaction force offered by this surface on the surface of this block at this junction. So there will be one reaction force and it will act in upward direction. So I have not shown it here, I have extended it and shown it here. So always remember, whenever we are trying to learn friction and trying to solve problems on friction, first you have to see which are the different forces that are acting on that particular body. So initially that body was at rest, then we are pulling this body towards right side with the force P. Since we are pulling it in right side, the motion of that body will be in the right direction. And we know that frictional force, which is represented by F, it always acts at the direction opposite to the direction of motion. So direction of motion is towards right, frictional force will go towards left. And the weight of the body will always act in downward direction, so it is W, and the opposite to weight will be the normal reaction force which will be acting in the upward direction. I hope you have understood this normal reaction. Fine. Now it is not compulsory always that the force is always of pulling nature. Suppose I say that we are applying a force P towards the body. In this case it was going away from the body. Now this was the pulling type of a force and this is a pushing type of a force. So suppose this is a block or this is a body which is kept on a rough surface, and we are applying a force P in this particular direction such that it is a pushing type of a force. Now in this case, what will be the motion? The motion of the object will be in the direction of P. Okay, so this P force, we are moving this object, or we are pushing this object towards left side, so the motion will also be towards left side. Okay, it will be in the direction of obviously the force which we are applying. Now we all know where will be the frictional force. Frictional force is opposite to that of the motion. In this case, motion is towards left, so the frictional force will be towards right. Okay, so this will be the frictional force. Now again, there are two forces remaining. Now where will be the weight acting? We all know that irrespective of the position of the body, whether that body is kept in this horizontal position or at certain inclined position, it doesn't matter. Weight always acts vertically downward. You have to remember this point. Okay, so weight will always act vertically downward. And reaction force will act perpendicular to the surface. Okay, perpendicular to that of the surface. So if this is the surface, perpendicular to the surface will be like this. Okay, so I have just extended that here. So this will be normal reaction. Okay, it is normal. What does normal mean? Normal means perpendicular. So suppose if this is the surface, okay, suppose if this is the surface and this is the block. Okay, in this case, weight we all know it will act vertically downward. But what will be the direction of reaction force? Reaction force is perpendicular to the surface. In this case, the surface is like this, so the reaction force will be perpendicular to this. Okay, so if we extend it, it will be like this. So this will be the reaction force. Weight acting vertically downward and normal reaction acting in direction perpendicular to that of the surface. So this is the state. So always remember to find out the directions of such four main forces. Okay, frictional force, normal reaction, and the weight, and the force P. Okay, so these are the major forces which you have to find out the direction. Okay, now there are certain important terms which are used in friction. First is limiting frictional force. Now we'll see the definition. The definition says that the maximum value of frictional force which acts between the contact surface when the body is just on the point of motion over the other is called as limiting frictional force. Okay, so we'll look at with the help of this example. Now see, this body has certain weight. Okay, now for the body to move in this direction, we have to apply force P. But there is a certain minimum value of this force P so that this body starts in motion. So suppose if we apply 1 Newton force, if we pull this body by 1 Newton force, this body does not move. If we pull it by 1.5, still it does not move. But if we pull it by 2 Newton, still it does not move. Now if we increase the force to 2.1 Newton, now at 2.1 Newton, this body starts to move in this particular direction. So for first 2 Newton force, this body was at rest. It was not moving. But there was certain minimum value of force at which this body started moving. Okay, so that is known as limiting frictional force. So if we again go through this definition, limiting frictional force, the maximum value of frictional force which acts between the contact surfaces when the body is just on the point of motion. Okay, so that body was just on the point of motion at 2 Newton. Okay, so when the force was 2.1 Newton, it started moving. It was on the point of motion over the other surface is called as limiting frictional force. Okay, so it is basically this force, that is the frictional force. It is represented by F. Okay, or F max. Okay, and the formula is F is equal to mu R. Now what is mu? Mu is known as coefficient of friction. Okay, now we'll look at the definition of coefficient of friction. The coefficient of friction, which is represented by mu, okay, it is nothing but the ratio of limiting frictional force to normal reaction at the surface of contact. Okay, so we all have seen this formula, F is equal to mu R, in our previous definition. So if F is equal to mu R, mu is going to be F upon R. So it is nothing but the ratio of limiting frictional force, that is F, to the normal reaction, that is R, at the surface of contact. We know what is F, we know what is R. Okay, from our figure we can see that this was our F and this was our R. This is normal reaction, this is frictional force. This was our force P and this was our weight W. So that is coefficient of friction, the ratio of frictional force to the reaction force. Now we'll look at the angle of friction. Now the definition of angle of friction says that it is defined as the angle made by resultant reaction, okay, resultant reaction, which is represented by S, with normal reaction, which is represented by R. We know this R, okay, and this angle of friction is denoted by phi. Now look here, friends, suppose this is the block, okay, we know that if we are pulling this block in this direction by force P, the motion will also be towards the right, okay, this force is towards right, so motion is also towards right. Opposite to the motion will be frictional force, that is towards left. Weight of the body will be acting in downward direction, W, and the reaction force will act perpendicular to the surface, right? So this is our surface. So normal reaction is perpendicular to the surface in upward direction in this case, okay. Now what is angle of friction? See, here this is normal reaction and here this is frictional force, okay. So if we find out the reaction force for this R and F, it will act in this direction, okay, the resultant of both these forces, okay. Or you can simply understand, suppose this is the force, since this is an inclined force, we have to divide it in two components, one is vertical component, one is horizontal component, okay. So this force can be divided into these two forces, or we can say that the this particular force is the reaction for these two forces, okay, and this reaction is known as resultant reaction. This is the resultant reaction of these two forces, okay. So what is angle of friction, which is phi? Phi, it is the angle between resultant reaction S, okay, with normal reaction. So the angle between resultant reaction and normal reaction is phi, and it is the angle of friction, okay. And so if we see, this is F, okay, so we can say if this is F, this is also F, okay, this is F, this is F, this is R, this is S, okay. So if we take tan phi, okay, tan is what? Opposite upon adjacent. So opposite is F, adjacent is R. So tan phi will be F upon R, and we know what is F. F is mu R, okay, mu R upon R. This R will get cancelled, only remaining part is mu, okay. So we can write down tan phi is equal to mu. So this is another formula for friction. Now next is angle of repose. This is very simple, friends. It is the maximum inclination at which a block placed on the inclined plane just begins to slide due to its own weight only. It is denoted by alpha. So suppose this is the block which is kept at an inclined surface. This surface is inclined at angle alpha to the horizontal surface, okay. Now during this position, this angle is such that this block starts sliding downwards due to its own weight, okay. So if this surface was horizontal, then that block would have been at rest. As we increase this angle, okay, there is a certain angle at which this block starts sliding downward due to its own weight. So that particular angle is known as angle alpha, and this angle alpha is known as angle of repose. See, friends, you will see these terms while solving numericals, okay. So now next term is cone of friction. What is cone of friction? It is defined as an imaginary cone generated by revolving resultant reaction. We know what is resultant reaction. It is S about normal reaction R, okay. So if we see this figure, we know this is R, this is S, okay, and this is F, and the angle between S and R is your angle of friction, okay, that is phi. So here we have constructed this same figure. This is R, this is F, and the resultant is S, okay, and this angle between S and R is phi. Now suppose, see, if we keep R stationary and we rotate this S through 360 degree, okay, it will generate a cone. Now this cone is known as cone of friction, okay. It is defined as an imaginary cone. It is not real, it is imaginary cone, because we are imagining to rotate this S by 360 degree around this normal reaction R, okay. So it is defined as an imaginary cone generated by revolving resultant reaction. This is resultant reaction by revolving resultant reaction about normal reaction R. So this is known as cone of friction. So these were the basics about the friction. We have covered all the terms and some basic formulae regarding friction. So I hope you have understood this. From the upcoming lectures, we'll start solving numericals on friction. Thank you.